this lecture today is, the assumption is that you have built a database, you have designed a database and then built it, and now you want to access the data from the database. If you remember from lecture 1, when we start talking about database management systems, I mentioned that the database management systems provide lots of facilities. One of the facilities was data definition language for defining your table, creating your table, and then data manipulation language for putting data into these tables and then accessing the data, updating data, deleting tables, etc. So far, in the lab exercises that you've done in the laboratories, you always use Microsoft Access. But from now on, basically your query writings, etc., or data manipulation language that you use, you will use Microsoft SQL Server. In the past, we used to give you access to create tables. This semester I cannot do it because I don't have the IT support to set up all your access rights. I have sent a request. Hopefully that will be processed before the end of the semester, and then you will basically create your own tables also on SQL Server. That's not a big deal. But what we are going to talk about today is, assume that you have a database and the tables are set up based on your design, the relationships are established, the primary keys are set up. At this point you can put data into the database, or you basically can access the data from the database. So right now assume that a database exists, data is in the database, and you want to get the data out of the database. Because so far what we talked about was having a scenario, designing a database, and then creating the table. So you never had the facilities to access the data from the databases. It's very simple, and that's the whole idea of the database management system, is that you store a large amount of data into different tables, and then you retrieve the data fairly quickly and fairly easily. And the whole idea is also, not only is it easy, but it's also portable. So basically, the commands that you use, or what we call here a query, the queries that you write to access the data. Query is a set of commands written in a language called SQL. It's not a programming language that you can use and access the data, manipulate data, delete data, insert new data into your table. So the whole idea is it should be easy. You should be able to grab large amount of data out of the database with very simple commands or simple queries and write it back, update, whatever you want to do fairly quickly, because you will be working with large amount of data in your database. It also needs to be portable. That means if you write a query on a machine, you should be able to execute on several different machines and under several different operating systems, etc. So it's usable in several situations. SQL is a fairly easy to learn. It's a language that's fairly easy to learn. I try to avoid and say programming language, because it is not really a programming language. A programming language has got many more facilities to perform many different tasks. SQL query language is designed for you to grab large amount of data out of the database with very simple commands and update them if you like and put them back in fairly quickly without writing pages and pages of program. So the queries are fairly short, but they're very powerful. When you say SQL is non-procedural, that means You say what you want, and SQL does that for you. In a programming language, you have to specify step by step what you want. Imagine this. Close your eyes. Just, close your eyes. I'm not going to do anything. Just close your eyes. That's okay. And imagine the best car that you ever dreamed to have. A Lamborghini, Ferrari, I don't know, Ford Fiesta, whatever you like. The color you like it, imagine it. Just close your eyes. Yeah. Your eyes are, I think, is open. Close it. Yeah. Close it. It's okay. Just relax. Yeah? And imagine the car that you really want. Now imagine it is parked in one of the spots here. Something unimaginable, I know. It's very hard to find a car park here. Just imagine it's there. Fill your pocket now and imagine the key is there. And because it's such a fancy car you want, the key is so small, it's just very difficult to feel it, you know? Anyhow. Or maybe, now you can open your eyes, or maybe you don't even have a key for the car. It just works with your fingerprint, you know, just put your finger, your thumb on the door, or you get close to the car and it recognizes you. You put your thumb on the door, it opens, you sit down, it starts, and then you say go home, it goes home. Right? Imagine that. Now, what I'm saying, SQL query language works the same way. Right? I didn't ask you to think how you would save the money to buy the car of your dream. How many hours you've got to go around the campus to find a car park here, and how the technology is developed that you put your thumb on the door and the car opens the door and you say go home and it goes home. So you don't specify which street, where I am, etc. You just say what you want and you get it. So with the SQL query language, it's exactly the same. You say what you want from the database using these few commands that we teach you, using the SQL query language, and you will get it. So how it is done, it's inside the database management system. So basically it's a free format, okay, and we'll tell you more about it. You say what you want and you get it. It's not like a programming language that you have to write a step by step that instructions that the program has to follow to get some data from you, for you from a file. The whole idea of SQL is to get large amount of data out of the database, put large amount of data into different tables in a database, manipulate the data, update data, delete data, insert new data into a table. It's not designed for very sophisticated mathematical analysis or programming. It has got certain mathematical functions that you can use, but the whole idea is this, for those of you who will be accessing data from databases to build websites or other applications, web applications or not, or other applications, the idea is that you use SQL, get the data out of the database fairly quickly, fairly easily, then you pass it to a program, like Java, C#, whatever, and then manipulate the data, perform any analysis that you want to do, any scientific calculations that you want to do, and then use SQL to write it back to the tables in the database. So SQL consists of certain reserved words, and these reserved words have got certain meanings. There are not many, but there's the few words that have got certain meanings, and you can only use it for those meanings that's specified. All right.